Victories of the day. March 15th. Victories of the day, March 15th. 1. The discovery of Sedna, March 15, 2004. The accomplishment, a team led by Mike Brown, Chad Trujillo, and David Rabinovitz officially announced the discovery of Sedna, one of the most distant and mysterious objects in our solar system. Previous failures, before Sedna, astronomers believed the space beyond Pluto and the Kuiper belt was largely empty. Traditional sky surveys failed to find objects this distant because they moved too slowly against the background stars to be noticed by older automated software. The system and components. The discovery utilized the Samuel Oskin telescope at Palomar Observatory and a state-of-the-art 160-megapixel camera. The system relied on comparing images taken hours apart to detect the extremely slow crawling motion of a trans-Neptunian object. Theoretical framework. Sedna's existence challenged the Oort cloud theory. Its highly elliptical orbit takes approximately 11,400 years to complete, reaching a distance of 937 nearly 31 times further than Neptune. This suggests the influence of a passing star or an undiscovered giant planet in the early solar system. Current state and application. Sedna remains a primordial fossil from the birth of the solar system. Its orbit is a primary piece of evidence for the Planet 9 hypothesis, which posits that a massive unseen planet is lurking in the far reaches of our solar neighborhood. 2. The first isolation of cholesterol, March 15, 1769. The accomplishment. French chemist François-Paul Poulet de La Salle successfully isolated cholesterol in solid form from gallstones. Previous failures. Early medical science attributed gallstones and arterial blockages to unbalanced humors or generic calcifications. Scientists lacked the chemical separation techniques to distinguish between different types of organic lipids, fats, often misclassifying them all as simple wax. The system and components. De La Salle used ethanol extraction. By dissolving gallstones in alcohol and allowing the solution to evaporate, he obtained pearly, crystalline flakes. Theoretical framework. This was a foundational moment in organic chemistry. It proved that biological stones were not just mineral deposits like rocks, but were composed of complex organic molecules synthesized by the body. Current state and application. This led directly to our understanding of lipid metabolism. Today, the study of cholesterol is central to cardiovascular medicine, the development of statins, and our understanding of cell membrane integrity. 3. The discovery of the cause of the GreatStink, March 15, 1858. The accomplishment. Pioneering epidemiologist John Snow, building on his work from the Broad Street pump, provided testimony and data to the British Parliament regarding the bacterial transmission of disease through water, leading to the modernization of civil engineering. Previous failures. The prevailing scientific consensus was the Miasma Theory, the belief that diseases like cholera were spread by bad air or foul smells. Because the Thames River smelled horrific, the GreatStink, officials wasted years trying to clean the air while ignoring the contaminated water. The system and components. Snow utilized spatial mapping and statistical analysis. He mapped the locations of cholera outbreaks to specific water intake pipes, creating the first ghost map of a pandemic. Theoretical framework. This supported the germ theory of disease. Snow hypothesized that an invisible agent, later identified as Vibrio cholerae, was being ingested via the water supply. It replaced the smell logic with pathogen logic. Current state and application. This achievement birthed modern epidemiology. It led to the construction of the London sewer system by Joseph Bazalgette, which became the global blueprint for municipal sanitation and public health infrastructure. 4. The first successful test of the lunar flying machine, March 15, 1965. The accomplishment. NASA engineers completed the first successful tethered flight tests of the Lunar Flying Vehicle, LFV, a rocket-powered Pogo designed for astronaut mobility on the Moon. Previous failures. Early Apollo planning struggled with how astronauts would navigate difficult lunar terrain, craters, ridges. Rovers were heavy and difficult to stow. Previous jetpack designs were unstable and lacked the fuel capacity for meaningful travel in a vacuum. The system and components: the LFV used a hypergolic propellant system, fuel that ignites on contact, and a throttleable rocket engine. It was designed to carry 2 astronauts or 1 pilot and a load of scientific equipment. Theoretical framework: the project utilized low-gravity kinematics. Engineers had to model how a vehicle with a high center of gravity would behave in 1/6 gravity, where traditional lift from wings is impossible due to the lack of an atmosphere. Current state and application: while NASA eventually chose the Lunar Rover, LRV, for its safety and stability, the LFV's propulsion and stabilization logic were later integrated into manned maneuvering units, MMUs, used by shuttle astronauts to float freely in space. 5. The identification of the AlphaParticle scattering, March 15, 1911. The accomplishment: Ernest Rutherford presented his revised atomic model to the Manchester Literary and Philosophical Society, fundamentally changing how we visualize the atom. Previous failures: the accepted model was J.J. Thomson's plum pudding model, which suggested the atom was a sphere of positive charge with electrons scattered inside like raisins. It could not explain why some alpha particles bounced backward when fired at a thin sheet of gold foil. The system and components: the gold foil experiment setup, which used a radioactive source, radium, and a zinc sulfide screen that would glow when hit by an alpha particle. Theoretical framework: Rutherford deduced the existence of the atomic nucleus. He realized that for a particle to bounce backward, the atom must have a tiny, incredibly dense, positively charged center. Mathematically, he proved that atoms are mostly empty space. Current state and application: this is the birth of nuclear physics. Every nuclear reactor, medical isotope, and particle accelerator in existence operates on the nuclear model established by this data analysis. 6. Dedicatee of the day, Ernest Rutherford, 1871-1937. Rutherford had the unique ability to look at a small, unexpected result, a particle bouncing back, and realize it meant everything we knew about the universe was wrong. His announcement on this day moved physics from the chemical level to the subatomic level. He trained a generation of scientists, including Niels Bohr, to continue refining the model, proving that science is a relay race of increasing precision. His work on March 15 provided the mathematical foundation for the Standard Model and the eventual discovery of the Higgs boson. Victories of the day. March 15.